Awesome.
Hi guys, welcome back to Unfiltered Kitchen,
where we have special guests.
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
I just want to say hi.
You just want to say hi, Ryder?
Surprise hi.
Okay, shut the door on your way out, okay?
All right.
Okay, so last week we talked
Unfiltered
about
Kitchen, cooking, conversations, and cocktails.
Yeah, we need to work on our intro.
Yeah, we sure do. This is really not a cocktail. This is just water.
We need to work on our intro. You poured it in that cup like it was a cocktail.
Yeah,
you made it look really cool.
Yeah, I could have faked it.
Yeah. We're going to work on that intro and we'll get back to you next week with that. But anyway, last week we did an episode and we answered some of you guys' back questions from other episodes. And we left off on saying that we were going to talk about the Sound of Freedom. Somebody left a question basically asking like how we felt about the Sound of Freedom / how do I feel about like stranger danger coming with having kids that are on TV and Ryder being in the modeling world.
And what are you doing in terms of protection?
Right.
Mode?
Right. Yeah. So I would say before I watched the movie, I didn't understand how the modeling thing correlated to Sound of Freedom. And then I watched Sound of Freedom and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So if you've seen the movie, it starts off with a dad who was taking his kids to a casting call, basically. Mm-hmm. And then that's when his kids got kidnapped. So number one,
it was a rough movie.
It was a rough movie to watch.
Particularly the first 30 minutes.
Yeah, but I feel like at the same time it was rough, but it was really eye-opening just to see like the real black and white footage of people just snatching kids.
Yeah. And that's kind of what made it so rough. Because those situations, I don't care how diligent you are in terms of watching
that's
your kid.
Just somebody running up and taking your kid from you.
Yeah. I mean, it happened all in a matter of 3 seconds. It's like, let's say you're down in, Alvarez Street, which is a shopping district out here.
Yeah.
Where there's, 101 different little, 10 by 10 little booths. You're shopping for whatever, glasses, cosmetics, clothes.
All it takes is a blink of eye.
Oh, man. I mean, these people were literally stopping a car, pull up, stop the car, van opens up, grab a kid.
Yeah.
Boom.
I mean, that's like me taking my kids on a walk right now. And the car just drives up and snatches them. The beginning of the movie was like that.
Or being at the park.
Yeah.
Yesterday when I'm at the park, I'm on high alert. Usually the kids play in the gym. They're playing, running all around.
No, we're always on high alert.
Where's the other one? There's the other one. Okay, I got
yeah. Anytime we go to like highly populated public places, Zach puts an air tag on Ryder.
Oh, does he really?
He he air tags everything. He'll air tag.
You guys know what an air tag is?
So it's like an Apple tag where it's like you can have someone's location. He'll put
like
it
electric device.
Yeah, he'll put it in her shoe. He'll put it in her backpack. He'll put it in her pocket. He'll put it on a necklace. Like he air tags her eye all the time because that's just one of our things that we do when we go to like a Disneyland situation, or like the other night we took the kids to Night of Jack where it's like a lot of Halloween trail and you can see the lights and stuff. And I was so freaking out because it's dark. It's dark. You can't see anything. So I put these hair ties in her head that lit up.
Oh, they're like glow in the dark.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could see her and I'm like, Zach, where's the air tag? Like we were like sitting there like, it's too damn dark for us. Yeah. So I would say we are on high alert regardless. And I feel like regardless if my kids were, on TV or not, I would be on high alert. But pertaining to this movie in particular with modeling and how the modeling question with Ryder is that the way the movie was set up with that type of casting, that doesn't seem real to me.
No, actually that happened to you when you went to New York.
But remember? I wasn't, those kids looked like they were like 5.
Yeah, I know. But you remember there was a point where the modeling company said, no, you can't go any farther.
But that's at a teen though. So I feel like you can be more vocal. These kids looked younger.
There's only 6.
No, I'm saying when I did it. How old was I when I did the New York thing?
I'm talking about when you did it as a parent. Okay, let's back up.
I get what you're saying. What happens
in the movie is there's a knock on the door. This lady who's a model, who's also the one who's going to get your kid, tells the parent, we saw your daughter singing at the park. She's got a beautiful voice. I think she's a gorgeous girl. We're having these auditions. I'd like you to bring her. Oh, and you've got a cute little boy too. Why don't you bring him too?
Yeah. So he took them to a casting. got his kids dressed up.
Proud of his kids?
Yes, and dropped them off to the casting.
Took them to the casting?
Yes.
And he's planning on waiting?
He's planning on waiting, and the lady tells him there's no parents allowed in here.
Come back at 7.
Come back at 7. Now,
I'm not leaving.
I wouldn't have done that.
I'm right outside the door.
Yes. So back to what you're saying with New York.
We're waiting for 7.
So when Ryder did her fashion show in New York, they asked for parents to not stay in the
area where the kids
are, which is like hair and makeup, and they have one person for each kid. Like each kid has a person. Now, this is a different scenario. I've worked with this company before. I know everybody at the company. Okay. I've been to their office, so I know it's a real ass office. And also, my kid is standing next to like Ice-T's kid and I all these famous people's kids. So it's a different scenario to where I know that these people are about to snatch my kid. Plus, I'm right outside the door. So yeah, I didn't stand in hair and makeup, but I was right outside hair and makeup the whole time.
I think there's 2 points. One, it's relatively common for the mom or the dad, the parent.
A lot of sets don't like parents to be on set because you can give your child a particular energy. So a lot of sets ask for parents to maybe step back, or like I have some sets where I go with Ace and they like us to kind of like hide. We can still see him, but he can't see us. And that's as far as I'm going.
Yeah.
I would not drop my child off to a casting call without and just leave and not know anything else or have any information.
Yeah, I never left you guys when you guys were doing it.
No. So even when Ryder does have like the fashion show where it's like, give her some space, I was right outside the building the whole time. There's only one way in and one way out. And my car was parked right at the entrance. Plus, the lady who was handling her, I already told her I'm a nervous Nelly, so I want a picture and a video of my child every 10 minutes. And she would send them on the dot of every 10 minutes because I don't know you at the end of the day. So, yes, I do feel like when you have kids that are in the industry, you do have to be particular and you do have to watch them. You have to watch them.
That AirTag is a great idea. Industry or no industry.
Yeah.
That AirTag is a great idea.
Sorry, guys. I'm fighting like a stomach bug. I don't know what's happening to me, but it's just going around in my house right now, and the nauseousness is killing me. I'm not pregnant. Don't say that. I know anytime a female says they're nauseous, people automatically assume you're pregnant. Do you know that?
No.
Yes. Every time I say I'm nauseous or something, someone's like, "Oh, you're pregnant." I'm like,
"Ready to go again?"
No, what if I just ate something shitty? Like, no. But I don't know. There's something happening in my house, and I'm really trying really hard to get through this. But I also feel like I'm puking every 2 seconds, and there's water coming out of my ass. But
yeah, so we're trying to get this done and get me out of here. So we were talking about
Stranger Danger.
Well, Stranger Danger.
What do you think about?
Let's just say a couple more things on the movie itself.
Okay.
Because I heard that there was a controversy about the movie.
Yes. So I will say when I posted that we were going to talk about The Sound of Freedom and that we watched it, I got a lot of people who said I watched it. It was really enlightening. It was hard to watch. Some people say I've dealt with sexual abuse and I wasn't sure if I would be able to watch it. I'm happy I watched it. Like different takes on it, and then I got a number of people who were like, don't support this film, and that like it was created or funded by some guy who like is now on trial for trafficking.
Really?
And I tried to find it. I tried to go down the rabbit hole, but to be completely honest, I didn't go down that deep.
Yeah, I didn't hear that. I heard it was funded. Part of the funding came from this guy named Glenn Beck, which is a talk show host. He's conservative. He's been around for a while.
Is he one of Trump's friends? Was that it? Because someone else told me like some guy, I think it was him, was like a MAGA guy. And
I don't know if Beck is MAGA. He might be. He's conservative, but all conservatives don't dig Trump. There's some that think he's, not the pudding pie or whatever. Yeah. So I don't know, but I used to listen to him. He's not a bad guy. He makes sense. He's not one of these guys that just make no sense. He actually makes sense.
Yeah. But if you look it up, there's a lot of like conspiracy theories.
When it got into the QAnon, they say that a lot of it. So first of all, the story is touted as a true story. I heard the gentleman, when you told me, I went and did a little research. I heard him in an interview, and he talked about what aspects of it were true and what were kind of ad-libbed.
Okay, so what were those?
Well, I don't want to tell that because I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't seen the movie.
Okay, well, I want to know.
Okay, well, there really was a case.
Okay.
He's a real guy.
Okay.
He really did quit his job. He worked for the federal government.
Okay.
And had to do with kind of sting operations undercover, but he was primarily going after the pedophiles.
Got it.
And a lot of times he couldn't go overseas until the law was changed.
Okay.
The law was changed. I forgot what year, but the law was changed where you could actually now pursue a person internationally. So it was probably something that, the United Nations came to agreement on and said, yeah, if you're going after these people. Oh, here's just a side note too. I'm going to tell you, I was thinking about this.
Okay.
And watch when you see this movie. In terms of crimes, well, I'm telling you, when I watched this, I said, this would be the one crime I'd kill him. I'd kill the person.
Yeah.
When a person kills another person, that happens. That's kind of the way we're built. The animal kingdom is built that way. I'm sorry to tell you, murder is not that big of a deal.
But you're saying a kitty pedophile you would kill.
A kid. Oh, yeah. Let's put him up right now. Shoot him. He is that's because you're dealing with a crime that the victim is a child. And sometimes these kids are young kids.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the movie was hard to watch.
Yeah.
It was hard.
One profile said like 0 to 3. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Those people, I'm telling you, those people I could kill. I could see sentencing them to death. Right? You're guilty. No trial. No appeal. Nothing. You're guilty. We got evidence. There you go. Pictures. We got witnesses. We got victims. Done. Boom.
Yeah.
Where and I'm not really, like I said, people murder people all the time. That's not a big deal in my book.
Dad.
Well, it's really not. Look. We are animals, and in the animal kingdom, animals kill. That's the nature of who we are. I don't care what your religion or what people told you. That is the nature of who we are. We kill each other.
Yeah, look at what's happening right now.
Yes, exactly. In Ukraine, in Israel, and not even places we have any name. In Senegal, not Senegal, Ghana, in the Congo. It's happening all over the world. It has been happening all over the world since I've been a little kid. Ever since I started watching the news, I've seen war.
Do I even want to ask you about your opinion on the war?
The current one? We'll talk about it. Okay. Not today.
Okay.
Not today. Because I think right now it's too emotionally charged. And I don't want to say things that I believe to be true without me. Research and educating yourself. Yeah. I would love to have somebody on who was an educator and who could educate on this topic. Then this is what you need to do. You need to find a historian. Because if you find a Palestinian, they're going to be one-sided. If you find a person of Jewish heritage, they're going to be one-sided. They don't have to be, but probably. That's why you find somebody who maybe either one of those, but they're historians, so I really want someone to like truly educate me on it. Educate you, me, all of us. It'd be nice. Yeah, because it's hard. It's hard going through. It's hard, and even us right now, what we're saying will get criticized by the Jewish community for not calling it what they say, calling it what it is. These people are terrorists. What they did was horrific. Yeah, there had to be a reason for them to do it, though. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I just want to be educated on it more, where I feel like Instagram is a quick place to like repost what you see and just share what you see, but not know what you're posting and stuff. And it's also just hard to open right now. Like I've had to
and it's sad to say, but I've had to like not pick up my phone as often because it's just so much. Like you turn it on and it's just so much. Just I can't take it mentally. I feel like mentally I can't keep taking it, and I feel like how shitty am I of a person to say that when there's somebody who's really living it right now? Right. So it just I don't know.
Really feel bad for all the folks.
Both sides.
I do.
Yeah, I do.
For the innocent folks.
Yes.
The people that are in the military, this is what they do. The people that are the militant Hamas people, this is what they do. I'm not talking about them. And I'm not talking about the Jewish military. But the citizens that are getting caught, the regular civilians that are getting caught in the middle. Yeah. Who, are just trying to, they're like me. They're trying to live a life. But let's go. We'll come back to that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's come back to that. I think that it is a topic that does need to be discussed. But with I need to. I need to go learn some shit first. Right. But Sound of Freedom.
There's this one. I don't follow a whole lot of people. I think I looked at my thing there. I think I follow about 100 people. Mm-hmm. And there was this one lady that I followed because I ran across her post one day and I liked it. And I said, she's interesting. She kind of ran it down on somebody. So I kind of follow her. And usually she's just doing stuff that doesn't interest me. But every once in a while she has opinion and I follow. So she had, and I rarely post to other people's, comment to other people. Yeah. I don't comment on mine, but I commented on hers because she's a Jewish, I think she's Jewish. She was portraying the Jewish flag, but I haven't heard her actually say she was Jewish. But she said something and I said something, and then she said something, I said something, and then it got to the point where you're going down. I didn't say this.
Yeah.
She said something like, obviously you are just trying to justify terrorism. And I was like, how did you get that out of what I said?
How'd we get there?
Yeah, how'd you get there? So at that point I said, touche.
Yeah. It's a lot of arguing going on right now that's not doing anybody any good.
And I wasn't trying to I wasn't trying to sway her. I was just making a point. But we'll come back to that. Because it's going to be going on for a while.
Unfortunately,
unfortunately.
So with the Sound of Freedom, I would say that regardless of the, take away the true story, take away everything that the conspiracy stories behind it, the actual film I did think was good. Is that weird to say?
I'm sorry. I'm going back to what we were just talking about.
Dad, we're trying to get away from it.
Well, I know, but you know what? Because I do want to better understand, so I went to one of the more popular podcast in America, the Ben Shapiro show.
Okay.
Which I know is I think he's Jewish American. He might be Israeli. But I know he's he talked about it. So I was listening to that point of view. And so, I don't know.
And what?
Well, I just thought it was interesting. The reason I say that is so folks, so that you are not just getting your news from, TikTok, 30 seconds, Instagram, a minute and a half, whatever the case may be, either CNN or Fox. Do your due diligence. Go and listen to 101 different people. Listen to people on both sides that have a bias. And if you can find a historian that breaks it down, that to me is always true.
Yeah.
Because historians are almost like scientists where they're not vested.
They're not like emotionally charged by it either.
They're just telling you the way history has gone down, which would be interesting to know. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to, we digress.
We digress.
I'm not going to interrupt you again. Go ahead.
Okay.
Sound of Freedom.
Sound of Freedom. I was saying that if you take away the conspiracies behind it and you take away if it was a true story or not, I still thought that it was a film that would enlighten somebody on human trafficking.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yes. Some people were getting bent out of shape because everything wasn't true. That's fine. It's a movie. A movie's entertainment. It's not touted as a documentary. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was fine with everything not being true. It kind of told a story. It kept me involved.
It did. But was it true? I mean, was the premise of him going to find these two kids true?
Yes.
Did he really find the kids?
I don't know.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. I was listening to him, but I got cut off before he actually got that. He was actually doing two cases simultaneously. The one in Colombia, which is a true story. He's also trying to find another boy who was of Haitian descent and got snatched and taken to Haiti.
Okay.
Okay. So he was doing both those cases simultaneously. It did get to a point where the bureaucracy, his superiors were telling him, look, come on home.
Yeah.
Okay? He did get frustrated because he'd get to the point where he's like, I see the kids. I can do this. But they said because of diplomatic
he couldn't take them.
And he said it killed him. He said here's one thing that was really a trip. He said, look, in America, it happens in America. But he said, when you go to some of these other places, it is so out in the open. It's like people tell them, oh, let's go down to the beach. It's like, go down here to Redondo Beach. Here, go there. Or go
There's kids over there you can get.
Yeah, and it's almost crazy. Like he didn't describe it, but my mindset kind of went like, there's a place they camp out the same way we know where to go get, knockoffs, persons or whatever. Yeah. There's a place you go get kids. I was like, that is so crazy.
That's just bizarre.
So I'm telling you, let me tell you something. I'd kill them all. I'd kill them.
So talking about stranger danger, a lot of people ask, like, does Ryder know stranger danger? And we talked to her about it a lot, especially because she has been born and raised on TV. People know her. People can come to her and address her by her name. Mm-hmm. And there's kids who would turn around and think, oh, they know me because they know my name. Yeah. Ryder knows that that's not the case. Yeah. There's a lot of people that know your name that can probably tell you things about yourself that do not know you. Right. You scream, you shout, you don't get in someone's car. And I feel like we have all done a really good job of instilling that in her. And there was this one day that...
We're going to have to test it that one day.
I tested it.
Did you really?
Yeah, with my neighbor, actually. So I was running late and I asked my neighbor who lives down the street, her son went to Ryder's school, and we have play dates all the time. Play dates, we all hang out. Mm-hmm. She knows Rye, I know her. Like, mm-hmm. Ryder knows there's a relationship there. Okay. But I also, Ryder knows that when I drop off at school, you don't get picked up by anybody. You don't let anybody tell you, oh, your mom said I can grab you today. Right. There's none of that. Right. Like, I'm dropping you off. I'm picking you up. You can only get in the car with me, with Zach, with your dad, with Taylor, and your grandparents. That's it. Like, anyone else, that's bullshit. You can't, unless I tell you, you're not getting in the car. So I was running late. I asked her, can you grab Rye, please? And I didn't even think about Ryder. Like, I didn't think about Ryder's response. I think I was so stuck on the fact that I wasn't going to make it to pick her up. Yes. I was more stuck on, like, I'm a shitty mom. Like, I didn't make up to pick up on time. I didn't even think about how Ryder was going to react to her picking her up. So I get a call around pickup time and I'm like, oh man, like, I wonder what happened. But I did tell the school. I notified the school that she was going to take her that day because the school wouldn't let her go with her without me saying anything. So she's like, hey, Chey, I'm right here. You're on speakerphone. Ryder's right here. And she said she's not going to get in the car until you tell her that it's okay. That's good. And she was like, and she's a child therapist. Okay. And she's like, I am so proud of her because my son would have been like, okay, where are we going? Like, you got a booster seat? Are we going to McDonald's? Like, what's the plan? Yeah. And when Ryder got home, I was telling her, like, you did a really good job because even though this is somebody that you know and you see, you still know you're not supposed to get in anybody's car without me telling you it's okay. And she was like, yeah, Mom, she told me to come with her and I told her I can't go with you. I was like, oh my God, I'm so proud of my kid. And at the same time, it's good when you see that the things that you work on with them are happening in the real world. Like they do happen in the real world. And I would say that because of certain things that have happened in Ryder's life, she is very observant of her surroundings. If we're at a gas station, if we're at a park, I watch Ryder and she's checking. She checks her surroundings. Or we went to the movies. She checks where's the door that we go out from. Like and a part of me is like, wow, did I do it too much to where my kid is looking for exits? But at the same time, I just feel like in today's world, you just never know. You just never know. I don't want my kid to be oblivious in space.
Maybe she's just an observant person.
She is. She really is.
That's the way I am. I kind of know my environment. I know my ins and outs. I know I can recognize people.
Yeah.
Building the situation where I've been with other people and they're just kind of, they have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, I mean,
that's just not their focus.
It's not their focus, but I'm like that. I want to know where the exit is. I need an exit plan. So I think because I'm like that, it's rubbed off onto Ryder, and Ryder has that in her to where she is very observant about who's coming this way and who's going this way. Yeah. And sometimes it's like we have to tell her like it's okay, like she does get uncomfortable if she sees like a homeless person and they're walking towards her, the ones on the street that are maybe a little louder and stuff, and she grabs on a little tighter, or will switch sides with me or something, and I'm like, okay, she's paying attention, and I don't think that that's a bad thing that she is a little hypersensitive to certain things. But I will say her stranger danger sense of alert is very high.
Yeah. So mothers, and fathers, you should find a way to test your child in terms of the stranger danger. Because you can have all the conversation that you want. Put it to work.
And I think it's important that, like, for me, it's important for my kids to know, like, there's a lot of people in my children's lives, as far as friends, family, crew members, different people that they see on sometimes a daily basis. And those faces get familiar, but that still doesn't mean that that's a face you go with. And those are the conversations that I've had to have with Ryder. She could see the same cameraman for a whole year, but you don't go with that cameraman if he comes to pick you up from school. Like, those are like the real life examples that I have to use with her, because that's her life. And if you're on the street and you're with one of your friends, and their parent, and someone walks up to you and says something to you, you make sure that you grab onto your friend's parent. Like, Ryder only has 2 friends that I let her go out with, and they're both helicopter moms, or whatever you want to call us, just as crazy as I am, and very hypersensitive and alert because, of the situation. Yeah. I don't want Ryder to be at the park and somebody call her name out and tell her about how she knows that she does this, that, and the third, and come with her and Ryder go. So we talk a lot about the differences between, what you can do, what you can't do. And when you're with other people, how to make sure that you are still practicing those things, like at your friends' houses and stuff like that. But I don't know, stranger danger is so important. I think I can't even go there, but it would just talk to your kids. You have to talk to your kids, and you have to get away from this idea of like, it's too much for the kids and you don't want to scare them. Like, I hate that. Well,
you have to educate them, and sometimes education is scary. I mean,
how are they going to know?
It's just like, there was a couple weeks ago, we were reading something, the lady said, "Oh, it's a cruel world." I was like, no, it's not a cruel world. I think she texted me back and said, it was either her or somebody that read the comment and say, "Hey, look, thanks, because it's not a cruel world." But it is a world where you need to prepare yourself, prepare your children.
Yeah, because cruel things can happen.
Sure they can. Yeah.
But should that change your whole outlook on the world? I don't think so. I mean, cruel things have happened to me, and I don't think that the world is a terrible place. I think I've had a fucked up day or two, but I'm not going to take that and chalk it up to the whole thing.
I've always said that there's more good people than bad, without a doubt. There are bad people. Bad things happen. But there are more good people than there are bad. That's what gives me, for lack of better words, hope.
Yeah.
Or a certain sense of relief.
Yeah.
That's why I say, it's a good day. Particularly when you don't run across any of the bad people in a day.
I would say so.
Seriously, really.
I would say so.
It's like, look, it's little things that I look at. It's like today I went to work. I had to go find some packages that went somewhere else. Talked to one lady, and she was kind of like, "We already got them. She said, "Well, what are you going to do with them?" I said, "I'm going to retrieve them like I'm supposed to." Yeah. She said, "And then what?" I looked at her.
What do you want me to do?
What do you mean? What am I
What do you want me to do with them?
I'm going to tuck myself inside and send myself to China, lady. What do you mean? What am I going to do with them? That kind of business is yours. She ended up sending me to her supervisor. Great personality. Come on, man. We'll find them.
Let's go find the package.
Yeah, here. Hit a sit on the back of my card. Let's go. It was beautiful. He made it so easy.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's more good people than bad people.
Yeah, but you definitely sometimes get, the bad eggs or whatever you want to call them. I mean, and they come in different forms, and it's just how you handle them. Like the other day, someone knocked on my door and I answered, and she said, "I need to speak to the homeowner." I said, "Okay."
That's not you.
And she was like staring at me, and I'm staring at her. And she goes, "The homeowner, please." And I said, "Okay, speak. Like, I'm right here." Right. And she goes, "To the house." I swear to God, I started looking at the house like...
You should have said, "Well, I own the porch."
I was looking around.
I just own the porch. Can you talk to me just about the porch? Because
this is the second time this has happened to me.
Yeah.
And I swear, after the first time, I told myself, "Not again, Satan." And I just started looking at the house, and I'm like, all right, just calm down, because you haven't had a good couple of days. This lady doesn't know that. Don't take it out on her. Yeah. But just maybe say it one more time, and maybe she'll get it then. Right. So I said, "Ma'am, you can tell me what it is. I own the house." Oh. I was like, yeah. And then what it was is she was canvassing about filming. We're about to start filming soon. So then she goes, "Well, then I need to speak to the people that film in the house." I said, "You keep talking to me."
Right.
We can keep going.
Right.
It's okay. And I'm like, wow, I really have to like break it down, because it's going over your head.
You're too young.
Too young and probably the wrong color.
Yeah, you're black.
So... It happened when we moved in and we were getting our security cameras installed.
I remember that.
And the security camera guy was great. He was a young black guy. He was also like, "Why do you guys need so many cameras?" He was looking at me like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Just put them. Just trust me. Just put them." And DirecTV came, and it was...
I remember I came by that day.
It was an older white gentleman.
Butt crack out.
Yeah.
Big belly. Country Bob.
He was from the country, and he would not accept that this was my house. Yeah. He just couldn't. He couldn't. And
had the work order.
Had the boxes, had the dish, had all the equipment.
Called corporate.
Corporate said, install it. And he said, "I can't do it. I just can't do it." And then he was like, "I can sit here and wait for your husband, but what does he look like?"
Did he say that? Bro?
I'm like, "Sir." So I called Zach, and Zach could hear him. Yeah. And Zach is like, "Chey, if I get there and he's still in the house, we're going to have to call 911. Yeah, I'm like,
just get him out.
Just get him out. And I'm like telling him, like, "You just have to leave." It was an hour-long thing of him calling corporate saying, like, "I can't put these boxes in because the owner's not here." And corporate is like, "I can hear the owner in the back. She's saying she's the owner. Right. Put the boxes in the house." Right. And he's like, "She can't be the owner of the house." Right. It was the craziest thing ever. Right. And after that, I had no fight in me around that time at all. I just called DirecTV and just canceled my subscription, and they asked why. And I said, "Call Country Bob," or whatever the hell his name was. I'm like, you don't understand how ridiculous that was. And this was for an hour. Yeah. This went on. Yeah. And then the guy who was installing my security cameras, he said that he wasn't surprised. He said that it happens to him a lot when he shows up to put cameras in. He works for ADT. He shows up to put cameras in the houses, and then people say, "Oh, we didn't call. We didn't have an appointment." Yeah, I'm telling you, And he's like, he'll be sitting there with all the information, like, "No, you for sure did." And he's like, "A lot of times I show up and they don't let me put the cameras in."
I saw the best post the other day. It was a country preacher. Old country preacher in a country church. Mm-hmm. Maybe Alabama, Mississippi, Georgia, I don't know. He was like, and it was old. Yeah. And it wasn't like it happened yesterday.
It wasn't recent.
Yeah. But he was like, I'm going to tell y'all, I'm do my best to imitate. I'm going to tell y'all, my congregation, I love y'all. But, that slavery thing that happened, that was a terrible situation. That was terrible. And y'all people, I know some of you out there who want to call yourself don't like black people. He said, you better watch out. You better watch yourself. Them God's children. Them God's children. And if you think you that good, you can dislike them just because of the color of their skin. I'm going to tell you, you better watch out. You better watch out.
You got to find that.
I got to find it. It was great.
You guys, that day with the DirecTV thing, it was the most bizarre, but not bizarre, because it was just like, I felt like I was in a movie.
Okay, we're digressing. We're talking about something we shouldn't be talking about.
Okay, so we were going to end this one with a question that somebody had sent my dad. Do you want to read it?
Can you read it?
Okay, I'll read it. Can you find it?
Let me find it. Talk to him for a minute. Oh,
we went all over the place this episode, but...
All right, we're going to... Yeah, we did.
But we're going to end it with this, okay? So
let me just set this up. Every once in a while, I get people that send me a message and say, can
I get advice?
This is my situation, yeah.
Okay.
Now, sometimes I just do it privately, but sometimes, like this, she said, maybe you could even air it on the show. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. So she says, hello, I want to give a tiny backstory of why you all inspired me. Long story short, I was married to a guy at the age of 21.
First mistake.
Damn, Dad.
Well, don't get married so young.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't remember it all, so I got to stop for a minute. Hey, first of all, you can be in love. Be in love. Be headed. Be whooped.
Pussy whipped?
I'm not going to say it.
Pussy whipped.
Yeah. You can be whipped.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to say that.
But don't get married. Not at 21.
21 is young.
21 is too young. 25, maybe 25. Okay? But you got to understand this. You get married at 21, you've only dated a few men. And I'm going to say a man from 18 on. Okay? And really, a manhood doesn't even start at 18. You got to wait till you date a guy who's, 24, 25, a bit more mature, maybe has some career going, maybe has some things that he can offer in terms of dating other than just, kissing at the park and I
had nothing to offer you at 21.
Yeah. You get married at 21, you're destined for a divorce.
Okay, Dad. Okay, some people got married at 21 and are still together.
Now, everybody that I know that got married that young is divorced. I know some people right out of high school divorced.
All right.
Divorce
I'm gonna find you one.
Divorce rate is in America?
Really freaking high, probably.
Like 50%.
Oh, that's terrible. Okay, back to this.
Okay.
Long story short, I was married to a guy at the age of 21.
So let's stay on this marriage thing for a minute. Okay.
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. So this is when you get married. Once you have hopefully finished your education or a good portion of it, meaning if you're going to go to college, maybe you may, and if you're going to do grad school, get that stuff knocked out. Okay. Have some type of career. Okay. If it's not college, if you're not doing the education, some type of career. I'm with the post office. I've been with the post office 5 years. I'm not going to be fired. I'm a good employee. I'm an apprentice. I'm a plumber. I'm a carpenter. I'm an electrician. I'm an engineer. I'm something. Okay. Mm-hmm. Don't go in there Opie style. Like, I just love you. Let's get married. We'll figure it out. Look, have you, if you want to up your possibility of success, first of all, wait, 25 probably being the youngest. I think, how old were you guys when you were married?
29.
Well, that's 28. I think around there, that's just my opinion. Okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Okay, long story short, I was married to a guy at the age of 21 and we had 2 children. We met in college and we were together since day one of meeting and eventually got married. Fast forward, it didn't work out, we got divorced. Mainly, me wanting to take a break and find myself, if you will.
Yeah, what does that mean?
It sounds like she didn't know who she was at the young age of 21.
And see, that's
went through some years of marriage and realized that you grew and you're not the same person that you were at 21. Yeah.
See, she could have waited 5 years. She said they've been together ever since. Who was rushing to put a ring on it?
Right. Maybe because they had the 2 kids. Okay. I was 28 at that time, so 10 years together total. We had 2 boys, so he always felt the boys needed to be with him. I didn't want that because I wanted my boys also. I never went to court for custody or child support. He eventually remarried and took me.
So what does it sound like? Who's got custody, him or her?
It sounds like he wanted the boys, she wanted the boys, he got the boys.
He got the boys.
And she didn't. child support. So then she's saying, I never went to court for custody or child support.
Never went to court for custody. Strike number 2.
Yeah.
And, I'm just,
I mean, to me, if you don't have a co-parenting situation to where you can work it out outside of the court,
I'm going to retract my statement.
I would say that the court is there to offer you assistance to put something in effect.
If the divorce is amicable,
then you should be able to work it out.
Sense.
But if not, then if one person is saying, no, I want the boys with just me, I'm going to keep the boys with just me, then that's when you use the court system of they're my kids too. And that's where the courts are put in place to help custody battles. Right. So my thing is, if someone looked at me and said, I'm taking my kid, you can't have them, we're going to court.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
He eventually...
So once you determine that he has custody.
I think that's what this is saying, is that he has custody. Yes. He eventually remarried and took me for child support during my time in nursing school. So
yes, he has custody.
He took her to court for child support.
Okay.
During my time in nursing school, and attendance is strict. He took advantage of that and won custody due to my not being able to make it, even though I made attempts to postpone.
Okay.
Do you have something to say?
I do. I do. I don't want to be mean.
Okay.
I don't want.
I'm just gonna keep reading.
No, but it needs to be said.
So say it.
You got to fight for your kid. Nursing career, you can play catch up later. I don't know if he outwitted you, if he slicked you, if you don't look. I know plenty of women that don't have the same maternal instinct that, like you have. Mm-hmm. Would you let something like that happen?
No.
No way. I'm missing everything. You're not going to take my child.
Yeah.
Okay. We battling.
But I think for her defense, she's probably thinking I have to have a career and have money to support the same kids that I'm trying to get.
I understand that. So let's do it. I need money and support to my kids. I need my kids.
I know.
I mean, it doesn't. To me, it doesn't weigh. It doesn't weigh.
Or maybe you had to put nursing on a pause and do something that could give you some money in your pocket, but still allow you to show up for court. Okay.
Something.
His current.
I don't know. I'm missing my court date. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but that was a choice, and I'm not mad at her for choice you make. I'm just saying
it was a choice.
Yes.
Okay.
And look, I understand. Sometimes choices are difficult. I get that. Go ahead.
His current wife is, in my eyes, my son's mother, because since we do not speak, my son is around her more and lives with her primarily. Mm-hmm. That's a hard pill to swallow. As a mom, it's a hard pill to swallow.
It's going to get more difficult. Keep reading. I've read this already.
I think a lot of it was premeditated. I'm devastated every single day of my life. I completely understand, girl. Mm-hmm. Due to there being no co-parenting at all, anytime my son does come around, there's no respect and he looks at me completely different. I'm not included in his life at all. He is a senior and will graduate next year, and it breaks my heart that my relationship with my son is ruined.
Okay.
I love advice or feedback if this makes sense, maybe on one of your shows.
I do not understand what happened to the years in between.
That's a lot of years.
That's a lot of years that there's just a gap.
Yeah.
Okay.
But she did say she took a gap to find herself.
I understand. But we're talking, they were married 10 years. They had a kid. Let's say they got a kid right after they got married.
So that's 28.
So now the kid is 11. And still in the household with everybody. Sorry. Let's say if they had to, so the kid is probably 7. Let's say they got married in 80. Okay. Then they have a kid in 82. They're together 10 years. So now the first kid is 8 years old. The second kid is 6 years old.
Okay.
Okay. So now.
That's a big gap.
Now he's a senior. And see, I know kids. Kids. You could be a terrible parent. Kids, they always want their mom and dad. I mean, usually, I'm not, general.
Normally.
They always want them. Even if they're terrible parents, they just want them.
So what would your advice be?
Well, first of all, I'm confused because what happened to this gap? I already know what my advice is going to be. What happened to this gap? Where were you as a parent to let your child get to the point where he is now disrespecting you. And I understand you and the ex-husband are not seeing it eye to eye. But you know what? You two as parents, adults, need to get over your little BS.
Yeah.
Okay? For the betterment of the child.
And the other child.
And the other child, yes. Okay? But this isn't, you're not going to like this. But I'm gonna try to help you get to where you're trying to go. Okay? If you are already saying he looks at this other woman like that's his mother,
then you probably need to go through her.
Well,
I would try to find some common level of respect to that mom. Mom to mom, you have clearly raised my child, and I respect you so much for that. I just want to know how I can come and play with you guys too.
Because she might have to accept that this woman has been in the child's life.
I think she does. She says that.
No, well,
she says, I know my son looks at this lady like this is his mother.
Yeah.
That's her accepting it in a small way. But you're going to have to accept it and kind of
I mean,
go lower.
It's almost like accepted as if it was a adoption. I mean, really accepted, where she's not feeling devastated, where she's almost saying, as a parent, you always want the best thing for your child. And maybe the household that he's in, the kids are in, is the best household.
I would disagree. I agree that maybe it's the best household, but I still think that as a mother who still wants to have a relationship with her son,
yes, she can still do.
I think that maybe you don't go to your ex-husband. Maybe you ask the mom if you guys can meet at a park and you guys can sit down and talk and get eye to eye and say, "Can you help me figure out how to have a relationship with my child? You've raised him for years. You know him better than I do."
Okay.
I'm going to humble myself to ask you to help me get a relationship with my kid.
Yeah.
The whole respect thing with the son, I think he probably holds a lot of resentment, a lot of anger.
Right.
And
he's confused.
He's confused. You can't even be mad at him.
He knows you.
Yeah.
You live 2 miles away or, I don't know, an hour away. But you haven't been there. You can't be, first of all, understand one thing, man. It's not lost. He's only 21. Okay? You're only 41. You have plenty time to heal or to bind, is that the right word? To fix this relationship. But right now, there's a gap where maybe I'm just missing it, where he went through junior high school, he's getting ready to graduate, and I don't know, where you been to let it get to this point, okay? And maybe you've got good reasons, I don't know. But I would not, to the point where it's devastating you. I understand your pain, but if it is the best environment for him right now to be with his father and this other woman, you're gonna have to accept that as trying to do the best for your child that you can. Now, I'm different from Chey, where Chey is saying go through the woman. I'm saying go through the whole household, through the father, who's your ex-husband, who you guys don't speak, which is absolutely ridiculous. No, you can't co-parent if you're not speaking. So, that's probably the first thing you need to find a way to break that wall down. Whether you need to admit you were wrong and trying to find your way, or whether you just accept that sometimes you just have to take the fault, okay, to get to where you want. Because again, this is you're not going to win. The way you win this is to end this. Whatever difficulties you and your ex-husband are having, you need to find a way to eliminate those difficulties so that you and him can talk, so that you, him, and his wife can talk, so that you, him, his wife, and your kids can talk. Now, I know I said a couple things that may have rubbed you wrong, and I'm not by any means trying to be hurtful, okay? Just trying to be truthful. But here's the big thing. Here's the sunshine at the end of the day. He's still young. You're still young. You have plenty time. Okay. Maybe you can do some family therapy, some group therapy. But first thing, you have to get through to your husband. If you have to grovel, your ex. Yeah, I'm sorry. The same way that you chose before to take your career, and I can't fault you for that. You need to choose to figure out a way to make it amicable with your ex and his wife, so that you can start to integrate yourself into their family with their blessing.
Yeah.
See, with their blessing is going to make it so much easier. I would tell you this, he's your son. Just call him, make a date, With their blessings, going to make it easier. Now, if they're not going to give you their blessing, it's too late to go through the court system. He's 18. He's getting ready to be 18. Well, you can always just find his cell number and just start calling him. Just start trying to get to him. You and him, one-on-one. But it's a whole lot easier if you use the village, use the family, and hopefully, whatever the anger was between you and your ex that had you not talking, maybe you guys can lay that to rest for the betterment of the child. Yeah. So, okay, guys, I think we're gonna wrap it up here.
Yeah, I'm suffering.
Yeah, she's not feeling good today.
I have something's happening to my body right now. Yeah. It's doing gross things that you guys don't want to know about. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys all for tuning in every week to the Unfiltered Kitchen. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Send us more questions or anything. We like to get your questions in. Papa Floyd likes to give his advice.
I have a question.
Oh, God.
When are we going to start cooking and making cocktails again?
As soon as I can eat something. I've been dying the past 3 days. Oh, sorry. Okay, next time let's do a cooking version.
Can we do it? Okay.
In this kitchen? Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right. Don't forget to follow me at Chey Not Chey.
We made a great lasagna today. We could have done that for you.
Oh, my God.
Man, I'm telling you. Yeah, don't forget, you can follow me at, don't worry about following me. Just come see me here. Okay?
Bye,
I'm
guys.
not worried about all that follow and subscribe, push this, push that.
Okay,
but I do like the
Dad.
comments, though.
Okay.
I do like when you talk to me, because then I have somebody to talk to. Sometimes my wife goes silent on me. She won't talk to me for days. So all I have is the people that will talk to me.